Hi, welcome to another Business Breakthrough Google Hangout. It's Glenn Dietzel here, and we are doing our best when the weather cooperates to hold our very first Google Hangout live from the beach at the Canadian Lake Home, and the first in the industry. We're really excited about it, but unfortunately, Mother Nature is not cooperating with us here today. So I am doing this from the office at the Canadian Lake Home, not the conference center in the Canadian Lake Home, and not the beach at the Canadian Lake Home. So I'm really excited today to assist you. I see so many amazing people. I do consults almost every single day as we vet people for successful candidates for our coaching program. In fact, I've done over 15,000 consults. That's right, 15000, over 15,000 consultations. I've never met anybody that's done anywhere near that. And I've never used a boiler room. I don't use a sales team. And we've been able to grow our company at an accelerated rate. And it's all because of a few strategic ways of doing things differently, systems that I've created. And I've been fortunate enough to be in the industry for now 12 years and just over 12 years, actually. And have amassed about 12,000 hours now as well in the industry and working with leaders in coaching, consulting, and training, either in startup mode or those that are already seasoned veterans, to help them create the kind of influence and a different kind of influence that's not held hostage by today's business model. I want to set the scene or the stage today for fee-based coaching, and specifically the type of testimonials that we're going to talk about. A word that I want to introduce to all of you right now is this word, vicarious. All right, and we're going to talk about that word, vicarious, and why it's so important to be able to leverage that word. And what we mean by vicarious, I mean getting your potential candidates to live through the case studies of the three types of testimonials that you must have in your business today, in order to stand out as the expert's expert, the consultant's consultant, the advisor's advisor. I see so many, as I mentioned, great coaches, consultants, and trainers today that are making some fundamental mistakes. They're putting their time, effort, and money in areas that are keeping them constrained to fee-based consulting, coaching. They're not using a royalty model. They're simply following a lot of outdated advice, archaic advice. In fact, I refer to most of the advice that so-called experts are teaching today as, if I can call it, fossilized. And when you're coaching and you're consulting and your training business model is fossilized, it's held hostage to what most of the experts are teaching today. And I really believe that if they knew better, they wouldn't tell you this, to use traditional business funnels, hire high-priced copywriters, use convoluted business funnels, have a system of products and services, use 50 to 80-page proposals, and the list goes on and on and on around the bad advice. In fact, just in 2 consults today, I heard the term proposal. And you don't want to use proposals if you are the expert's expert, the advisor's advisor in today's marketplace. You've watched me interview many of my clients, and my clients all know one another. We've created a very cool system to allowing me to assist them to close deals and allowing each other to close deals in a very strategic business alliance today. I'm really excited about it because there's nothing like it in today's marketplace. And so I want to share with you today how to get out of fee-based coaching and consulting. I want to focus on the kind of testimonials that you need. There are 3 classes of testimonials, and there are 7 types of testimonials that you need that I want to share with you. And then I also want to show you where in the consultative process, in the 10-step consultative process. I've gone through this 15,000 times. I've built all kinds of major corporations, leaders in coaching, consulting, and training, their consultative process, and most importantly, their education-based marketing systems, processes, assessment tools and instruments, etc. So we want to make sure that we use and leverage this word vicarious today. And we're not going to make this an English lesson. However, it's really important that if you want to be the trusted advisor, the expert's expert, the consultant's consultant, you want to get outside of the norm in the industry today. And what's the norm? It's the traditional business funnel. It's having a book. It's having higher end programs and services. It's using convoluted business funnels. It's competing on the price ladder. And this kind of so-called expert advice is causing you to spend, literally, if you start looking at it each week and each month and each year, thousands of hours of time that you can't afford to not use properly. And in today's marketplace that demands speed, you've got to have a more strategic, you've got to have a better business model than what your competitors are using, okay? So when we talk about your competitors now, we never want to diss your competitors. So make sure you write that down. Instead, you want to frame, you want to posture, you want to position your advice from the standpoint of what your competitors fail to do. And you want to make sure that you tie your advice to the negative perception of what your ideal clients have of your competition, okay? So let's take a look here. Since we're not running our Business Breakthrough Google Hangouts on the beach today, we are waiting for a great day, and we will let you know the morning of, as best as we can, that we are doing it this day. We're going to do them at 2 o'clock still over the next several weeks, and then as we get into hotter weather here, we're going to move our Business Breakthrough Google Hangouts to 11 o'clock a.m. EDT, all right? So this was what was happening at the Canadian Lake Home this past weekend, and that day does not resemble today, all right? So we are going to continue on right here, and I've got a special welcome to all of you here. Welcome to the beach house, one of our signs that we have at the Canadian Lake Home. And I'm so fortunate and so blessed to use a model that has required me to leverage a lot of time, a lot of money, multi-millions of dollars back into my company. And it still shocks me that there are people today that want leadership position in their industry and refuse to pay themselves for a high-end program or service. And if you don't invest in a high-end program or service, how are you ever going to command that? Secondly, they're not using the right systems, tools. They're not following the right advice, and especially they're focusing most of their time and their effort and their energy in a fossilized business model. Okay, and that's my word, fossilized. We want to get out of that. We want to get out of fossilized, archaic thinking. We want to get out of greater sameness thinking. We want to get out of fee-based thinking, and instead we want to leverage and use a better business model, okay? So as we're going to talk about today, we want to focus on 3 archetypes of clients, okay? And these archetypes of clients are simply 3 paradigms of clients. So it's really important that you identify the 3 types of clients that are your ideal client, okay? And then as you're working from the 3 types of ideal clients, because you want to have 3 to broaden yet keep niched or niched your area specialty, because this is the market for specialized knowledge, specialized assistance, specialized help in execution and focus. And so you really want to tightly narrow your focus and your level of execution. And so I really recommend that when it comes to developing testimonials, we're into the thousands of case studies or client file numbers. I've showed you how we organize and sort and identify and upload especially our video case studies, of which we have hundreds of them. And with the 3 archetypes of clients, you want to take a look at the 3 types of data for each of those clients: product data, problem data, and marketing feedback data. So there's really 3 baskets of data that will go along with each of those 3 paradigms of clients, which really begin to fit in to the benefits, features, the advantages of what your programs and services will do. However, if you've been following me and our Business Breakthrough Google Hangouts, you never, ever, ever want to lead with features, benefits, and advantages, even though that's what most direct response copywriters will teach. And the reason why is that in the post-information age in which we live, in the era of fast decisions, the fast decision advisory era in which we live, you've got to be able to communicate your advice quickly. That conveys momentum, and that's tied directly into the 3 archetypes of clients that you work with, okay? So you following me? Are you getting this? So the reason why I wanted to cover this here with you, and I've got a number of mentors that I'm going to be interviewing off and on our Google Hangouts, some of the top mentors from Lifestyle Entrepreneur magazine in the coming weeks, a number of our clients that I'll be interviewing as well. I've spent quite a bit of time interviewing clients recently, but I want to, as we're taking our company to the next level, and I'm just about 50 years of age. On Wednesday, I have my birthday, and I turn the big 50. It's there's a part of me that I could easily retire, and Fiona and I could just travel and really put our feet up. But there's another part of me, and the main part of me, that doesn't want to do that, nor will I ever do that, because I'm a teacher by passion and training. And my goal in 2015 is to work with 1,000 entrepreneurs to do $10 million in deals with my assistance, producing a multi-billion-dollar industry. That's not $1 million industry, but $1 billion industry. I like to play big, and we've set goals as a company to accelerate our growth. And with so many entrepreneurs coming to us every single week who want to be featured in Lifestyle Entrepreneur magazine, who are downloading the Future of Coaching book and want access to my time. We've got a pretty convoluted process, by the way, to protect my time. But we are vetting candidates right now for a documentary that is being done by an independent company who has recognized our leadership and is documenting through many of our case studies in my Omega Mind program, which is held right here at the Canadian Lake Home, and is virtual training, and everybody meets everybody, etc. But we have a documentary being done, and I'm humbled by it. I'm excited about it. It reminds me of the days of being recognized by Adobe, getting on the largest how-to television, cable television show with Leo Laporte, and being able to leverage the media anytime that I want. However, what I really am proud of is that we've got a documentary being done on our clients and on our Omega Mind process, which really leverages the 2 ROIT, return on invested time, programs that your company needs, and is absolutely critical if you want to succeed in today's market. Because most people follow the norm of the industry today, the coaching norm, which is the traditional business funnel, low-end programs and services, even though they want to launch a high-end program or service. And if they're trying to use motivational speaking and sales tactics and strategies that are outdated in today's market. You've got to be a lot more strategic. You need a coaching and co-branding program, and you need a mastermind monetizer system to leverage the new realities of how your marketplace wants to consume advice, wants to connect with other leaders in the industry. Most importantly, will help you build multiples, 100 times, 1,000 times, and greater cash flow for your company, and not just active cash flow, passive cash flow that's really focused on royalty income. So you got to have royalty income. You don't have it. Please don't beat up the messenger here. But based on all the statistics and the industries that we're involved in, and the fact that I'm known in select circles as an insider in the industry, 96% of coaches will fail to make a profit in 2015 or will lose their leverage that they have. That's how fast the industry is changing, and you've got to be at the forefront of what's going on. So you've got to be doing things differently. In fact, you're probably going to want to change just about every facet of how you focus your time, where you execute. And that's why I believe modeling is the #1 way that we learn. So let's use this concept of modeling, will we? And modeling really is tied into this word vicarious. Okay, and I'm going to show that here because you want to assist your potential candidates to systematically eliminate perceived resistance to doing work with you, okay, or to hiring you out. And in the realities of the post-information age, this fast-paced advisory age, your potential candidates are looking at you from a totally different perspective than what they did before. They are looking at you to make you, number one, irrelevant. That's their whole focus. That's why we've talked about the 1 second rule, the 4 second rule in building credibility and knowing how to build that level of credibility so that you do not fall victim to your potential candidates seeing you as irrelevant. And that is the number one sin that you can make in today's market. And that's why I've referred to earlier on our training today as the traditional business funnel or that model as being archaic and being fossilized. And if it's fossilized, it means the best that you can do is low-end dollar. And in today's marketplace, it's crucial that you've got premium priced programs and services. And as you probably know, right, it's Marcus Buckingham and Kirk Kaufman, 2 New York Times bestselling authors, that said 5 years ago, and it was nice that when I read this, that they're agreeing with what I've been saying for the last 12 years, that you've got to have, as entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs, high-end programs and services. And secondly, you've got to know how to use your clients in your marketing. And we're talking about marketing then today. We're talking about education-based marketing. So in your training then, you want to leverage the 3 types of archetypes of clients in your training, okay? So that's really important. So let's move forward here today. And I want to, first of all, talk to you about the 3 classes of testimonials that you must have in today's market. And this is crucial that you understand this. I'm providing you here multi-million-dollar strategies around organizing and packaging your intellectual property. And so you want to leverage social proof, right? You want to leverage the realities of the advisory age, the recommendation age, the fact that word spreads. It can spread virally, right? You see that on social media. And you can have the same power as with using as social media can provide you if you know how to create a royalty model for your business. So in saying that, then it's crucial that you understand the 3 classes of testimonials, the 3 classes of testimonials, okay? So the first class of testimonial that you must have in your toolbox that you are going to leverage is you must have testimonials from consults that you do, okay? Now, if you're new and you're in startup mode, it's really important that you flesh out a consultative process. And we've created a very highly strategic consultation process that allows our clients to close high-end deals very quickly. Yes, it's all predicated on the inverted business funnel. Yes, it's all predicated on creating an application process and having potential candidates vet themselves successfully to you. So in other words, they're selling themselves to you. So you need the right tools. You need the right language patterns. You need the right posturing, framing in order to do this. So if you're in startup mode, or if you're already a seasoned entrepreneur, you definitely want to have in your arsenal video testimonials of those that have gone through your consultative process, okay? Because it's really important that in setting up a consultation with potential candidates, that they get a chance to live vicariously through others that have gone through the consultative process, okay? Because when you do that, it takes their resistance, it really breaks it down. It eliminates it. And it allows them and it opens up them to you becoming and starting to become relevant to them. And this is the day and age of ensuring that you have the highest relevancy. And the relevancy factor is facilitated by becoming a lot more influential with your advice and the business model that you use, okay? So you want to have consult video testimonials or case studies of those that have benefited from your consultation. And the second here, I'm going to share with you 7 types of testimonials that you want to start archiving and organizing in your, as you accumulate and continue to accumulate and re-engineer your company's intellectual property, their IP. Second, you must have video testimonials that are case studies of clients. Now, these clients could be paid clients, and they can also be pro bono clients. So if you're just new in business and you've had clients, you've probably given out advice, you've over time to different individuals, organizations, etc. Maybe you've been trapped into speaking for free or low-end fee-based speaking, $1,000, $1,500, etc. I don't advocate that at all, except under only one condition. But you need to have a plan and a system behind that. We've covered that on other training, and that's some of what I do with my clients as we build out their keynoting programs and they're speaking to organizations to create massive paydays and leverage for them. So you want to have case studies, and those case studies are going to, if you will, take potential candidates that you're vetting on a journey. And it's really important that you convey a journey and that metaphor, if you will, to your potential candidates, okay? The third type of video testimonial that you must have are video testimonials that are associated with your training and entrepreneurial certification program, okay? So you want to have the third type of video testimonial around training and certification, and not just any kind of certification program. I see all kinds of people that are reading The Future of Coaching, downloading it, blown away by what they are doing. Many of them have been certified, and they'll tell me that. But I asked them, yes, but is it entrepreneurial? They'll ask me what I mean. And I said, does it allow you to really build royalties from your advice? And everybody, these are from hundreds of entrepreneurs that have been certified, or trying to create some kind of membership site program. And the reality is, the average person stays in a membership program and a company stays in maybe 2-3 months at the most in today's market. So membership sites are not the answer for commanding maximum fees, getting paid upfront for high-end programs and services, and getting paid over and over again with your own coaching and training royalties. So you want to build a training and entrepreneurial certification process. You've got to do it properly. If you don't do it properly, you're not going to be able to really leverage yourself as the influential expert in your industry, okay, or advisor's advisor. And you've got to have that. You've got to have that positioning in today's market. Just go to Amazon, take a look, Google, type in a keyword phrase that potential candidates would search for material in your market in Amazon, and take a look at the thousands of programs, in fact, tens of thousands in many industries today. And it's a sea of sameness. It's a normalization has happened. Everybody has a book. Nobody reads books anymore. Very few, 92% of people don't get past page 18. And when the media comes knocking, and when other experts come looking for experts to mentor them, even if you're in startup mode, they're looking for somebody that has a better organizing principle than what the so-called experts are doing. They want an expert's expert that truly doesn't have a fossilized business model, all right? So you've got to have the ability to have and use and leverage training and entrepreneurial certification, video testimonials, people that have been trained directly by you, okay? Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of leaders have come into the Canadian Lake Home here, been trained in our conference center here at the Canadian Lake Home. And we've never had a greater demand on my time. In fact, on our next one-day intensive, and the next one-day intensive is on June the 8th, and our phone's been ringing already. People have been inquiring. We still haven't officially opened the date, but people want into that one-day business acceleration intensive. They want to find out how I've been able to command $25,000 for a one-day, just one-on-one with me here at the Canadian Lake Home. How I've been able to sell and attract some of the highest end experts, consultants and trainers in the industry where I come out of teaching. And we're not that long ago, my wife was upset with me and I shared this story on the first time I charged $2,400 for a client. My wife said I wasn't worth it. Maybe you have a spouse that doesn't think you're worth it either. But so I had to prove to my wife, and I had to prove the fact that I was worth it. And how else better to prove it than have a big company like Adobe call you, and the head of marketing for their company wanted to feature my company. And all of a sudden, because of all that traction, I had big corporations contacting me, wanting to pay me huge sums of money for me, more money than I was grossing as an entrepreneur. You know, they were paying me $50,000 to $100,000 to reorganize their curriculum, coaching, consulting program, because they wanted to be the leader. And all of a sudden I had coaching leaders paying the same. And then I had startups and those that are paying the same as well. And you can do it as well if you're really strategic in what you do and how you go about what you do, all right? So we want to get out of this fee-based mindset. And in order to do that, then we've got to have the right kind of testimonials, all right? And we have to have some other systems as well. So those are the three classifications of testimonials that you want to have, okay? And to just re-emphasize these, you want to have video testimonials that are focused on consults that you're doing. Secondly, you want to have case studies of real clients or those that you've done pro bono work for. And thirdly, you've got to have video testimonials for your training and entrepreneurial certification process. And here's what I found. The reality is very few companies today really have proper video testimonials in only one of those domains, which is usually some kind of quote unquote case study for a program. They usually haven't done a very good job. Why? Because they don't meet the criteria, the 7 types of testimonial that you should have that I'm going to show you now. Secondly, very few have video testimonials for consultations that they've done. And even fewer have video testimonials for their training and entrepreneurial certification process. We want to end that, okay? We want to end the pain of being archaic and following the mantra of the experts that are holding you hostage to this fossilized business model. So we got to get out of it. We got to defossilize, all right? And reinvigorate with speed to market fashion what you're doing. Because the pain of not doing this is costing you tens of thousands of dollars every single week, hundreds of thousands of dollars potentially every single month. My question to you is, how long are you going to continue to bleed these types of profits? Okay, so let's move into the second area then, the 7 types of testimonials. I talked about the 3 classifications of testimonials, the 7 types of testimonials now that are crucial so that you can assist potential candidates to live vicariously through you, and through not only just through you, but through your 3 archetypes of clients, okay? And so we're going to go through the 7 types, and then we're going to move into where do you use your testimonials very specifically in the 10-step consultative process, and you don't want to get this wrong, okay? So we talk about the 7 types of testimonials. We're talking about a type of testimonial that equals a buyer resistance pattern, okay? So you've got to be able to get testimonials that eliminate buyer resistance patterns. And there are 7 types of resistance. And every consult I do, I identify which buyer resistance am I dealing with. And when you know what buyer resistance is, and you've got a plan of execution ahead of time, and you've got the right tools, and you've got the right testimonials, you can start leveraging and really building speed in how you educate your potential candidates. And this is, you can't learn this from what most of the experts and gurus are teaching today around traditional business funnels and all that. Your ideal candidates expect to get your best, and if they don't get your best, they're gone. So you've got to be able to do this in a way that creates and eliminates resistance and ensures that you're at the highest level of relevancy, okay? So the first type of buyer resistance, first type of video testimonial that hits or fits the criteria of the 7 types of testimonials inside of the 3 classifications of testimonials is the looker, okay? And there's all kinds of people that are looking. My goodness, I don't want to talk to lookers. There are people that think they can get everything online. And there is so much information online. You can get just about everything that you think you need online. That's why this is the day and age of highly developing a high-end business coaching, consulting, training program that's focused on specialized skills that people can't get online. And what I give to my clients can't be found online. Yes, it can be found on our private client site. It can be found on the private training that I do, on our private Google Hangouts, at the Canadian Lake Home, the 1-day or the 3-day intensives, at the Vegas Sandcastle. That's the kind of specialized training that allows my clients to move faster than anybody else in their industry. And when you think about it, it's really not that hard if you invest in the best, you pay for the best, and you only cry once, as opposed to nickeling and diming everything, which are really continuously ensuring that you are fossilized. So we want to get out of this fossilization, okay? So we want to get out of dealing with lookers. So got to be able to move away from lookers, the people that think they can find everything online. The second type of resistance is the expert. And you know these people, right? They're the expert. They know better than everybody else. They're the alpha male. I'm not sure what the equivalent is with women, but they think they know everything. And if there's one person that I refuse to work with, and we vet out very carefully so I don't waste my time with them, I don't waste my time with lookers. I don't waste my time with experts that think they know everything. If they know everything, then why is their business not where it should be? Why are they losing market traction? And this is a really great opportunity for each of you, especially if you're in startup mode or nearer to startup mode, to stop everything you're doing. It's harder to do it when you've got years of business experience behind you. Trust me. That's why dealing with the expert, it is so difficult, because they've got this facade. Okay, so you've got to have video testimonials that call experts on their facade, and so that you can eliminate their resistance. Okay, third type of resistance is what I call the newbie or startup. Okay, we track a lot of newbies and startups, and we're very good at dealing with their resistance. And most of them feel like I did when I was a newbie or a startup mode 10 years ago, that I didn't have enough experience, that I need to know more. I was treating business just like university education. I have 9 years of post-secondary degrees, 2 post-secondary or 2 post-graduate degrees. And I was treating business like a PhD program, where in order to get to the next step, I needed this course, this course, this course, and this course. And you know, it's really interesting. And I know that there's some of you that are following us from business schools because you're you're a subscriber to Lifestyle Entrepreneur magazine. We do have a lot of clients that are MBA. They are experts, and yet they hire us, and we're very good at dealing with them. All right, and we tend to attract a lot of those type of people. Why? Because they realize that being an expert is not good enough anymore, and they realize that because they get a chance to live vicariously through other experts that we've worked with. So that's why it's so important. Okay. And you're getting the power of this word vicarious, getting others, suspending their judgment on working with you, ensuring that you stay relevant through the stories of others, okay? This is one powerful way of many, many, many hundreds of systems that we've created to assist our clients to close deals. So you want to eliminate the newbie startup resistance, and they're tied up with some kind of learning that they've accumulated in education, and the stories that they've had about success, about, well, they don't have enough information, they're not ready, and all this kind of stuff. That leads to the next type of resistance, and the type of testimonial that you need is the dealing with the procrastinator. Procrastinator is always somebody that wants to put something off, right? They're the procrastinator. They're procrastinating their whole life. Everything about them is procrastination. Procrastination is really the end result of something that's even worse. And we're going to talk about that here as the sixth type of resistance. And by the way, if you haven't realized it yet, the order that I'm going through is actually the order of dealing with the type of resistance. And there's actually a gradation of resistance. So with number 7, or with number 1, that's actually the easiest type of resistance to work with. And the most difficult type of resistance, or type of client to work with, we're getting there. So we're actually working towards the most resistant, most difficult type. And we attract 4, we attract definitely 6, and number 7. Number 5, we don't attack too much. Why? because I call people, I'm an open book, as my wife would say. I call a spade a spade. And so the fifth type of resistance here that we're getting to, I don't work too well with that kind of person unless they are truly open to changing some huge hangups that they have in life. So the procrastinator, you got to have testimonials, video testimonials that eliminate procrastination. The next one, the fifth one, and it's personally the one that I don't attract. I don't attract a lot of people in this area because what you see is what you get when you see this here. And all my clients meet my family, they meet my wife, they meet my kids. So I'm just not this. And I call people on it, the pretender. So the fifth type of resistance is the pretender. They're the people that think they've got it all together. They're the ones that have the highest level of facade. And they're ones, I can sniff them out. I've sniffed out one person today and who was a pretender. The person said they had quite a bit of business momentum, really undervaluing their advice, overthinking like crazy, and hiring other coaches. And that's just like about everybody that comes to us, right? Almost everybody's been burned by coaching. Many of our clients have invested 5 figures into 6 figures in coaching, consulting, and training to help them grow their companies. And most of that advice is archaic and it's fossilized. And that's the truth. And the truth hurts and the truth divides. And if I call something on somebody, I do it in love, and I always ask for permission ahead of time. So we all, to a certain extent, by the way, every one of your candidates has some of these areas. I have some of these areas, all 7 of them. You do. All of your candidates do. But there are certain areas that they struggle with more than others. The 6th area is the perfectionist. Okay. And dealing with a perfectionist, the root cause of perfectionism is overthinking. So perfectionism and overthinking are really the root cause to procrastination. Okay. Which was number 3. And remember our genealogy of how the mind works. Overthinking leads to indecision. Indecision leads to hesitation, and hesitation leads to procrastination. And if you start looking at your own life and your level of execution like I did, you start looking at, man, how much money have I wasted? Not just by not hiring the right mentors, but by using archaic business models, by not focusing on the right systems, by not positioning my specialized knowledge right at the front, by flipping the business funnel, by having and using convoluted business funnels, by not using and knowing how to organize your advice that re-engineers how you assess and have your ideal candidates select themselves to you, by selling themselves to you. And the list goes on and on and on. And this kind of outdated thinking and a misdirection of thinking and fossilized thinking, when I started analyzing it, cost me well over $250,000 in lost business and lost opportunity. And the reason why I say roughly, when you hear me say numbers, sometimes I can't use a specific number. The reason is because we've dealt with Canadian dollars and American dollars and currency fluctuations my whole life. So I know just by using outdated advice, overthinking cost me over $250,000. Using fossilized advice from the so-called experts and consultants and so-called experts and gurus in this space has cost me north of $350,000. Okay. The 7th type of testimonial then is the skeptic. And dealing with the skeptic, got to be able to, again, suspend judgment. And there is specific ways in our proprietary systems using education-based marketing in order to deal with all 7 of those. But it's really important that you know what those 7 resistance are, so that in your testimonials, you can have your testimonial client who's giving you the testimonial speak to that resistance from their own perspective, okay? And help your potential candidate live vicariously through that. So we've talked about the word vicarious. I've talked to you and presented to you the 3 classifications of testimonials. I've not met one company to date that has all 3 of those classifications of testimonials, not one. I've certainly not met any company that's not only hit the 3 classifications, but the 7 types of testimonials. So that's good news for you. Okay, great news for you, because it's so much easier for you to stand apart in the sea of sameness. And you know then that in organizing and structuring your advice, and we've got specific processes that all my clients leverage so that they can accelerate the learning, their own learning, and their potential candidates' learning. That's how they can close deals faster. But there's 4 types of learners that you should know, okay? I just want to highlight this: the Y learner, which is the most resistant learner. So I just took you through the 4 types of resistance of testimonials that you need to eliminate that. And behind all of those 7 resistance, you want to have and speak to the Y learner first. Then you want to speak to the what learner. And then you want to speak to the how learner. All right. And then finally, you want to speak to the what if learner. And in the accelerated component of our Google Hangouts, we're going to develop this further. But it's really crucial that you understand this, because this is the advisory age. And if you're going to advise, you've got to know who the learner is, right? Who that learner is. You got to know the archetype of that learner. And I mentioned there's 3 archetypes, right? And so as we move into our final section here today, in the application of what I'm telling you to do in the consultative process, it's really important that you know where to use your testimonials and your 3 archetypes of clients that are going to represent the 3 types of clients, or 3 paradigms of clients, of how you work with. Now, there is a specific 10-step consultative process that we take all of our clients through. As I mentioned, we've got 15,000. I've done over 15,000 consultations. When it comes to helping my clients close deals, easily have doubled that number, if not more, because I've built their system. And then my clients love our programs and services, because when they're between a rock and a hard place and closing a deal, whether they're on stage, whether they're doing a keynote, on a Google Hangout, on the phone, in a boardroom, they know they can rely on me, and they can use me directly to help them close their deals. So when we start looking at all the deals that I've been involved in the consultations, we're into multiples of 15,000 hours or 15,000 consultations in my business career. So we have a defined process. Step 1 of the consultation process is presenting or organizing your advice around a big novel thesis. Step 2 is to tie that thesis in your market to the big change that's going on. Step 3 is to magnify the problem. Notice we want to magnify the problem, and we've not even talked about features, benefits, advantages. We haven't talked about your company. We haven't used testimonials. We haven't talked about your story. We haven't done any of that. Your UPP, we talked about the importance of developing your UPP. If you don't know what UPP is, you definitely want to check out my training from a couple weeks ago. You can get it on our blog. You've got to know how to develop your UPP, because it's crucial in helping your potential candidates to live vicariously through your video testimonials of your clients, okay? So step 4 then is developing the backstory of your business, of your brand, and the leveraging the 3 types of archetypes, okay? So we have a very specific process. If I were pitching my deal in step 4 in the consultative process, and step 4 is used in every single venue where I'm speaking, but I position myself as the expert's expert in the industry of coaching and consulting and training. And our clients come to us because they want to command maximum fees. They want to get paid upfront for high-end programs, because they're not right now. And most experts and coaches aren't, because they're following an archaic, fossilized business model. And thirdly, and most importantly, they want to get paid over and over again for coaching royalties. And the second line then in our pitch is we assist tomorrow's leaders to be able to do this by inverting the business funnel and positioning a high-end program or service immediately, okay? So in the 3 types of clients, or the 3 archetypes of clients that I work with, are, and this is, how I've organized our advice, just so you know, around these 3 buckets. And then we've organized our 3 types of data: product data, marketing, problem data, and marketing feedback data in each of those buckets of clients. But the first type of client that we work with are those that want to be experts and don't want to have to write a book. Second type of client we work with are those that are already experts, but is spending all their time promoting a low-end product or service. They want to command maximum fees and royalties. And the third type of client that we work with is not necessarily interested in being an expert, but they want to bring the other experts in their industry together using our royalty model around our mastermind monetizer system. So those are the 3 types of clients that we work with. And I just wanted to share that with you in the context of where you use your testimonials in your business. And so we would use them then now in step number 5 and 6 after I build the backstory for our business and in a way that I just shared with you. Okay. So that takes us to the end of our training here. We've gone over a little bit over the last couple of weeks. There's just so much that I could be sharing and teaching you. I've got such little time due to the demand on my time. And that's why we are just in such demand. I'm humbled to have and speak with leaders or those that want to be leaders all over the world. If you would like to be considered in the documentary that we've got being created, which I believe is the ultimate video testimonial, if you will. And this is the bonus one that I wanted to share with you. But it's having a documentary being created on your company. Now, I didn't ask for this. And independent companies come to us. They want to feature our processes in the coaching, consulting, training industry. They're tired of all the hype online. And I'm all for that. I want to eliminate and expose bad coaching and expose fossilized coaching, archaic coaching. Because I talked to so many people today that are investing so much money in coaching programs that are bringing them 0 traction, or they think it's bringing them traction, and I'm finding out what they're doing. Man, there's no way of speeding up their advice. And they're charging low fees. They're hoping that somebody's going to pay for high-end programs and services down the road by using traditional business funnels. And it's shocking. It truly shocks me, and it concerns me that the industry has turned into this. So I want to be an advocate in this industry, and my big mission, 2 days away from my birthday, I'm going to be 50. It's hard to believe. 50 years of age, I can't believe it. My wife and I were away this past weekend and enjoying some time together, watching my youngest son, his team win the gold medal against Toronto teams near Toronto, and we're from our international office in Sarnia, Ontario, Canada, a small community, not known for raising Division I basketball players for men or NBA talent. And we've got some amazing players on our team. So I'm going to be sharing that photo on our Facebook page. But if you would like to be a part of and be considered, is to bring you great exposure for your company and for yourself in the documentary that's being done on our process. We are taking and going through our huge list of those that are on the early notification list for openings, for mentoring with me. If you would like to be considered for my Omega Mind program, which is what we have the documentary being done on, go to the following page. I would fill it out as soon as possible. newgurumodel.com/do you qualify. I just want to give you all a heads up that many of the candidates for the program are actually phoning our office as well and giving their contact information, asking to be placed at the front of this list, where we have, last we checked, there are a few thousand people, experts, advisors that have gone through just in the last several months through our qualification process. And I can't possibly speak to everybody. So we meet as a company, we vet them internally, my project managers, myself, and they're shortlisted, and then I take a look because everybody's vetted directly by me. So if you're interested in true business acceleration, you're sick and tired of what it's cost you to follow fossilized advice, being held hostage to an archaic business model, doing what the coaching norm is today, you can't stand out. and just go to Amazon. How are you going to stand out among all those experts? You've got to be a lot more strategic, and you've got to rethink how you educate your market. So I wanted to start or share with you some critical aspects around creating testimonials that are going to reposition you away from a fee-based model that is just simply exchanging time for money, and which you want, and a concept that we've talked about in past and we develop, and our systems are all based around our ROIT, return on invested time. Have a great one, everyone. And who knows, maybe our paths will cross, and maybe you'll get a chance when you come to the Canadian Lake Home. If you are vetted successfully by me, you'll see our welcome to the beach house here, and you're going to meet some other amazing candidates that have been successfully vetted, and lives are changed, businesses are transformed, and that's what it's all about. And as I move into my 50th year, I've never been more passionate about this industry, and I'm passionate about your success. I am a teacher by passion and training. I've not forgot my roots, and I absolutely love what I do, and I look forward to our paths crossing maybe sooner than later. Have a great one.